The F-14BU released last week, and as a huge fan of the Top Gun movies, I knew I had to try it out. But there was one problem. I didn't want to make just another video on a scripted mission that plays out the same way every time. So I started looking for a dynamic campaign system for DCS World, and that's when I came across a project called DCS Retribution. If you've never heard of it, Retribution is a community-driven campaign builder that brings a Falcon BMS-style dynamic campaign to DCS. Once I got my hands on the latest beta that added support for the F-14BU, I immediately started building my own campaign. I decided on an Operation Iraqi Freedom-inspired scenario where a NATO coalition would take on Syrian forces in the early 2000s. There was just one problem. Getting everything working wasn't quite as straightforward as I hoped. I ran into AI aircraft blocking taxiways. Well, I look up, and I think we're in the way of this F-15C, so we'll try to be quick here on getting everything started. This F-15 taxi, if I let him through. Here are your operations that weren't behaving correctly. Would be nice if I could get a taxi here. I guess we'll wait. And a handful of other just basic bugs and issues that had to be ironed out. After tweaking a few settings and getting the campaign running smoothly, it was finally time to see what the F-14BU could do. Alright, we're in the cockpit now in the F-14. We're going to go ahead and get our uniform set up here. This is one of my favorite features of the new F-14. We're going to switch to the back seat, a little bit of a spike there as it loads everything in for the first time. We are using the female jester, so we are going to represent her with a female character. Mission for today is we're going to strike Aleppo power stations that are to the east of the Aleppo airfield. There's 4 power stations total. We do have a splash damage script installed, so it might blow up everything in the area. We'll see. And then there is a SA-3 that's guarding them a little bit, about like a half mile to the north of the power stations. Not even, I don't even think it's half a mile. So we're going to put 1 JDAM on the SA-3, and then put the rest on the power stations, and then hopefully get out. Over Aleppo, there is IR SAMs. I'm trying to see if it'll show me something here. So, is this Aleppo? Yep. So as we kind of come in, there's some IR SAMs here to the east of the runway that are going to be there. So we'll have to be cautious of that as we go over the target area. And then you can kind of see this is Aleppo airfield here on the left, and then this is our target area here on the right. So the IR SAMs can probably definitely hit us, so we'll have to be cautious of that, dropping flares on the way in. What we can go ahead and do is get our commands mode set to auto. And then we are going to skip the navigation waypoints for holding, because we have...
Copy, direct to that waypoint.
No, we have nothing. It's just us in our flight. So if we go back here, it's just our 2 Tomcats, and we're going to go strike the target. We don't have any escorts, no seed, no nothing like that. Didn't really want to deal with seed or AI in that sense. Other than that, we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get taxied. Let's see if we can request a taxi to the runway.
Uzi 9, request taxi to runway.
I may have used the wrong radio for that. I think I did.
Uzi 9, request taxi to runway.
Alright, well, I'm just going to taxi myself. I don't care. 2's probably going to cut in front of us. I'm going to try not to let him by speeding up here. Let's force him to take off after us. There we go. So we're armed with 4 GBU-31 2,000-pound JDAMs, penetrator warheads for the factories, and then obviously I hope the penetrator warhead works on the tracking radar. And then we have 1 AIM-54C Mark 60 Phoenix, and then 2 AIM-9Ms for air-to-air self-protection. Let's go ahead and get our mirrors turned on here, I guess. Other than that, we have a lantern pod, and that's really it. It's going to take about I believe, what, 63 miles to get to the Ingress, and then it's about another 40 miles from Ingress to the power stations. So that's pretty cool. Frontline's not far away. Obviously, Aleppo's right there, and Aleppo has MiG-29s, MiG-21s, and I think some other stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, let's go ahead and get set up for takeoff here. See if we can straighten this jet out. We'll go ahead and get this set. Wings are good to go. And we'll give it just a little bit extra throttle on takeoff. We don't necessarily need afterburner. We are a little weighted down, a little under max, but you still don't need afterburner on the F-14BU. If it was the F-14A, I would say use afterburner. So let's go ahead and start to pull that stick back. Oop. That was my fault. I got pulled down on the ground there. We're going to go ahead and transition to cruise. And then let's turn off our ECM override.
6 o'clock, 1 mile.
All right. Who's going to rejoin? I'm going to put him echelon left, just so as we go over Aleppo, he doesn't get absolutely destroyed. We're going to go to the north of Aleppo, so he would stay on my right side coming from the west, and then that IR SAM would just eat him up. So we're going to try to keep him further to the north. Other than that, we're just going to climb here for a minute and do what we can until we get there. Alright, we're coming up on the Ingress point, about 15 miles out. We're staying north for that SAM threat. So what I want to do is go ahead and get set up here and fenced in. And then let's go ahead and transition to air-to-ground mode. And I believe I already set my commands, but just in case, we're going to go auto. And then what we want to do here is let's go ahead and get our ACM cover popped. And then master arm up.
You got it.
And what we need to do is transition some of our waypoints into the bomb. So we're using Station 4 first. So we're going to go JDAM, send waypoint to GGW, Station 4. And then we're going to transition that SA3 tracking radar.
1 second, I need to send these coordinates to the JDAM.
If you don't know how that works, right here, I'll show you with my mouse.
Alright, I got dirt
This
at 4 o'clock.
4 PPI is 4 represents the station that you currently have selected, and then PPI means that it has information regarding where it needs to go. You'll see if you have the right station selected, especially with the right waypoints. Let's say your other 3 stations don't have waypoint data. You'll see the ranging information come up here as well. Other than that, let's go ahead and get the other ones set up. So we're going to send one to Station 3, and let's go ahead and send Power Station 1.
Okay, 1 second. Let me send these to the JDAM.
And then, oh, that's not what I meant to do. JDAM, there we go. Station 5. Let's send Power Station 3.
Oh, baby. Here we go. Sending coordinates to the weapon.
And then Station 6. Let's send Power Station 4.
Oh, I think I'm going to like what's about to happen. Sending coordinates to the weapon.
And then what we want to do here is Q waypoint. We're going to go to our Station 4 so we can see, and then double contacts to zoom in. So that's set. Other than that, let's go ahead and go to navigation direct to, and then let's set the SA-3.
Direct to that waypoint as you wish.
Even though we're in air-to-ground master mode, and it's going to use that for steering.
Nails, 12 o'clock.
Looks like we got a MiG-23 pop up. Not a huge ordeal. We're not super far out, so let's go ahead and get low. And I want to ingress as low as we can, and then on the way out, go higher for the IR threats in the area. Once we get about 15 miles out, I'll give 2 all clear to engage targets. We can pull back on that throttle before we overspeed. Looks like we got a little bit of fog down here. That's kind of neat. I might actually do it sooner, because 2 is just kind of following me down here, and I want to spread us out. So let's go mission and rejoin.
Attack primary target and rejoin.
So 2 is going to do his own thing. So he's doing good. Let's go ahead and get ready ourselves. Let's trim down for the afterburner. We're going to burn a good amount of fuel doing this, but that's okay. And we're going to try to do everything in one pass so that we don't run into issues.
Looks like there's dirt at 4 o'clock.
We're just going to stay low. Let's go ahead and start to pull up here. Right as we cross into that max range. We're going to wait till about 5 miles. Just to ensure it's a hit. Good to go. We're going to transition to the next targets. And all 4 are dropped. So let's pull off left.
Ten seconds CTI.
We can see that SA-3.
Damn it, we're hit.
I don't know what we got hit by, but that's okay.
Boom.
We hit our targets. So let's pull out of here. Looks like 2s are hitting as well. So far, we didn't lose an engine or anything, and we're not really losing fuel because of it, so I think we're okay. And then all the factories are on fire. So I think we had good effects on target. Let's see if we can see our SAM. Probably not being in the clouds. Maybe if I do that. Looks like... I can't tell. We may not have hit it, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So, as we're coming back into land, I noticed that some jets weren't moving. For instance, if we take a look at this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or these guys. It seems like something crashed, so I was running this test experiment on a dedicated server with enough RAM, enough CPU power. I just checked. CPU is not spiked out, RAM's not spiked out, storage is looking fine, it's on an NVMe SSD, and I still have a server freeze. Whether that's from the server stopped responding, the actual server exe, so I have to assume that's due to I'm gonna assume a bad script or something, or maybe the amount of units caused it to crash, or something happened that it didn't like, maybe the bombs dropping on the target that we hit, something so forth. So, we're gonna try to salvage it.
Here we go again.
And this is a beautiful landing, but I don't know if we're gonna get anywhere necessarily. So I guess we'll see. This is a very MiG-29 style landing here. They used to have an issue where they would be overspeeding on landing, so they would kind of brake like that. I don't think I can get my speed brake to come out, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. Let's see if we can just burn it off. I think I forgot to bind that. Either that or it's just not working. Which is A-okay with me. Obviously with everything lagging, ATC is probably not going to respond. So, that's okay. Yeah, they're just not going to respond, and I need to be careful with the AI on the runway. So we're probably going to land long, which is fine with me. Let's see if we can see that Mirage, wherever he's at. I actually don't see the Mirage, which is a little concerning. Where did he go? That's okay. Whatever. Oh, we spun out because I hit the brakes too hard. It's okay. The game was ruined from the end anyways. Let's see. We have enough speed. Can we get back on? Oh! Oh, we're gone.
Shit, you're too fast. Right wing is damaged.
Alright, let's see what we can salvage here. I don't even care. We may not even be able to save this save. Let's see. Alright, so we were able to salvage the state.json. So, if we take a look here, it's a little bit different than Falcon BMS, where you can kind of see what you destroyed. But we can see here that we lost 2 aircraft, 1 frontline unit lost, and then Syria lost 4 aircraft, 4 frontline units, 3 ground objects, and 4 scenery objects. Before I ended the mission, I did take a picture of the BDA, so that will show up here. We took out the factory, we did take out the SA3. Luckily, I was able to salvage the state.json, even with the server actively freezing every couple seconds. And it does look like it's accurate. So if we accept these results, it's going to process it, which I know you guys can't see, and then this is going to show up, and it's actually, I guess it is going to show us actually what happened. So 1 F-14B was lost, which was 2. It did not consider my crash landing as a loss, and then 1 regular F-14B that took off from the carrier got lost, I guess, and then a Striker, which isn't a big deal. Syria lost 4 MiG-21s, and then I guess it kind of shows you everything, but we can see here the Aleppo power stations, and then the searching radar and the track radar from the SA3 site. So if we take a look here, all the Aleppo power stations are dead, And then obviously the SA3 site is no longer usable. I guess it has 2 SA9 Strellas. That's probably what we were hit by. So I guess we'll see there. And then that's really it. This is the Aleppo Strellas that I was talking about. So pretty neat. Overall, my opinions, it's not as great as BMS's campaign generator, especially performance-wise, even with turning on some of the culling settings and then some of like the don't spawn aircraft at like far away air bases and stuff. It still seems to even crash on dedicated servers, or not crash, but just have consistent freezes. If there's some settings I'm not using that I should probably be using, then let me know. But otherwise, nothing on the server was maxed out, so I don't really know why it would be having issues. I would expect to see like RAM at 100% or CPU at 100% to be causing some of that freezing if it was the hardware itself versus just the mission or DCS server stuff. So I guess we'll see. And then I also did make sure I met the minimum specs, like over 2.8 gigahertz and so forth for servers. So just in case people had questions about that too. Overall, I still had fun. It was fun to take the F-14 out. I don't know if I'll use this as my primary method over something like just playing Contention server, Panther Den, so forth, where it's more maybe on a beefier server with more regular people. But still definitely had a fun time. So if you guys enjoyed, let me know. If not, let me know what I can do better, I guess. And that was pretty much it.